In the year 2147, humanity had spread across the solar system like seeds scattered by a cosmic wind. Earth was the cradle, but Mars, Europa, and the asteroid belts were the new frontiers where we forged our destiny. The United Earth Federation, UEF, governed it all, a fragile alliance of nations bound by the shared dream of survival among the stars. But dreams can turn to nightmares, and ours did when the Vexari arrived. The Vexari were a hive-minded species from the Orion Arm, their ships sleek obsidian behemoths that warp space with effortless grace. They communicated through neural pulses, a collective consciousness that made them efficient, ruthless, and utterly alien. Their scouts had probed our outer colonies for months, silent shadows slipping through the void. We detected them first on Titan, where a mining outpost vanished without a trace. Then Ganymede, where orbital defenses flickered out like candles in a storm. The UEF scrambled fleets, but the Vexari struck with precision, dismantling our outposts one by one. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the UEF cruiser Avalon, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. At 42, she was a veteran of the Belt Wars, her face etched with scars from pirate skirmishes and radiation burns. Her crew respected her, feared her, even, for her unyielding resolve. "Status report," she barked, her voice cutting through the hum of the engines. Lieutenant Kai Reyes, her second-in-command, tapped his console. "Vexari fleet inbound, Captain. 20 capital ships, supported by drone swarms. They're ignoring our hails. Projections show they'll reach Luna in 48 hours." Alara's jaw tightened. Luna was Earth's last orbital bastion, home to millions in domed cities. If it fell, the homeworld would be next. And our defenses? Fragmented, Kai admitted. The Jovian fleet is in ruins. Earth's ground batteries are online, but against their tech. He trailed off, the implication clear. The Vexari didn't fear us. Why would they? Our ships were clunky relics compared to theirs, powered by fusion drives while they harnessed zero-point energy. Their weapons vaporized hulls in seconds. Ours barely scratched their shields. Intercepted transmissions, garbled neural bursts translated by AI, revealed their disdain. Primitives, they called us. Insignificant swarm, to be cold. But humanity had a history of being underestimated. From ancient battles on dusty plains to the void's cold embrace, we thrived on adversity. Alara knew this. She had grown up on stories of World War II, where ragtag alliances turned the tide against overwhelming odds. "We don't run," she said, turning to her crew. "We adapt. We fight dirty." The beginning of the end, or perhaps the true beginning, came in a war council aboard the Avalon. Admirals from Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies linked via quantum comms, their faces holographic ghosts in the dim light. Admiral Harlan Crow, a grizzled Earth native, led the discussion. "The Vexari outmatch us in every metric. Speed, firepower, numbers. But our scouts report a weakness. Their hive mind relies on Nexus ships. Disrupt those, and their coordination falters." Alara leaned forward.
"How?"
"Their shields are impenetrable." "Not entirely," interjected Dr. Mira Solari, the UEF's chief xenotech expert. A brilliant physicist from Europa, she had dissected Vexari debris from early skirmishes. "Their shields fluctuate during energy transfers. If we can sink a wormhole breach—" "Wormholes," Kai interrupted, skeptical. "That's theoretical." Mira smiled thinly. "Not anymore. We've reverse-engineered their warp tech from the Titan wreckage. It's risky, but a micro-wormhole could bypass shields and deliver a payload directly into their cores." The plan coalesced. Operation Shadowfall. A fleet of decoy ships would draw the Vexari vanguard, while stealth corvettes, cloaked with experimental metamaterials, slipped through to target the Nexus vessels. Alara's Avalon would lead the strike team, armed with prototype wormhole torpedoes. As preparations hummed through the ship, Alara found solace in the quiet of her quarters. She pulled up a hollow of her family, her wife, Lena, and their daughter, Arya, safe on Earth. "We'll make it back," she whispered, though doubt gnawed at her. The Vexari had raised colonies without mercy, their drones harvesting resources and sometimes survivors for unknown purposes. Rumors spoke of assimilation, turning captives into extensions of the hive. The fleet assembled near Neptune's rings, a ragtag armada of 150 ships against the Vexari's 200. Sensors lit up as the enemy approached, their formation a perfect geometric lattice. "They're probing our lines," Kai reported. "No fear. They're treating this like a cleanup operation." Alara gripped the command chair. "Good. Let them underestimate us. All hands, battle stations." The middle of the conflict erupted in a blaze of plasma and debris. Vexari beams lanced through the void, shredding UEF frigates. The Avalon danced through the chaos, its engines straining under evasive maneuvers. "Decoys away," Alara ordered. Suicide drones mimicking capital ships drew fire, exploding in brilliant flares. Undercover, the stealth team, 5 corvettes including the Avalon, cloaked and accelerated. The metamaterials bent light around them, rendering them ghosts. But the Vexari weren't fools. Their sensors pinged anomalies. Drones peeled off, hunting the invisible prey. "Incoming," shouted Ensign Tara Lynn, the weapons officer. A swarm of Vexari fighters materialized, their hulls shifting like liquid metal. "Fire point defenses," Alara commanded. The Avalon shuddered as railguns spat kinetic slugs, tearing through drones. One breached the hull, its tendrils snaking into engineering. Crewmen fought hand-to-hand, improvised weapons against alien tech. Petty Officer Jamal Reyes, no relation to Kai, led the defense, welding torches searing the intruder until it dissolved in acrid smoke. They pressed on, weaving through the enemy formation. The Nexus ships loomed ahead, massive spheres pulsing with ethereal light, the brains of the hive. "Target acquired," Mira said from the science bay. "Wormhole torpedoes primed. We need to get within 10,000 clicks." But the Vexari adapted. A Nexus emitted a disruption wave, flickering the cloaks. Alarms blared as the corvettes decloaked. "They see us," Kai yelled. Laser fire erupted. The lead corvette, Harbinger, vaporized in an instant. Alara's ship took a glancing hit, shields dropping to 40%. Evasive pattern delta. Push through. The crew worked miracles. Engineers rerouted power, pilots dodged death by millimeters. Mira calibrated the torpedoes on the fly, her fingers blurring over controls. Firing solution locked. Launching. Torpedoes streaked out, vanishing into micro-wormholes that punched through reality. They re-emerged inside the Nexus shields, detonating in the cores. The first Nexus imploded, a silent scream rippling through the hive mind. Vexari ships faltered, their precise formations crumbling into chaos. But victory was fleeting. The remaining Nexuses rallied, focusing fire on the Avalon. Hull breaches vented atmosphere. Crew compartments sealed off, with dying screams echoing over comms. Alara's bridge shook, consoles sparking. "We hit one, 3 left." Mira gasped, blood trickling from a head wound. Kai pulled her from debris. "Captain, we can't take much more." Alara's mind raced. Humanity's strength wasn't in tech. It was in ingenuity, in the unpredictable spark of individuality. The hive mind couldn't anticipate chaos. All corvettes converge on the central nexus. Overload drives create an EMP cascade. It was suicide. Overloading fusion cores would fry electronics across the fleet, but if timed right, it could shatter the hive's cohesion. The surviving corvettes acknowledged, engines glowing hot as they charged. Vexari drones swarmed, but now erratic, their attacks missing more than hitting. The Avalon led the charge, hull glowing from friction with debris fields. "Impact in 30 seconds, Tara announced. Alara opened a fleet-wide channel. "This is for Earth, for our homes. Show them why they should fear us." The overload hit like a supernova. Cores detonated in sequence, electromagnetic pulses washing over the Nexus. Shields failed, the sphere cracked, venting plasma. The hive mind screamed, a psychic wail that even human sensors picked up as static bursts. Vexori ships spun out of control, colliding in fiery wrecks. Drones deactivated mid-flight, drifting lifeless. The remaining nexuses withdrew, their fleet fracturing as individual units panicked without guidance. But the cost was high. The Avalon limped, half its crew gone. Alara slumped in her chair, oxygen low, as rescue shuttles approached from the main fleet. "We did it," Kai whispered, his arm in a sling. The ending came not with triumph's fanfare, but in quiet reconstruction. The Vexori retreated to their arm of the galaxy, their collective scarred by the encounter. Intercepted signals spoke of the fractured ones, us, with newfound caution. They had learned. Humanity wasn't a swarm to cull, but a force of resilient individuals, capable of turning weakness into weapon. Alara returned to Earth a hero, though the title weighed heavy. She reunited with Lena and Arya under Luna's rebuilt domes, the scars of battle a reminder. The UEF fortified defenses, incorporating Vexori tech. Dr. Mira led research into hive countermeasures, ensuring no enemy would underestimate us again. Yet, in the stars' vast silence, Alara wondered if the Vexori would return. Humanity had shown its mettle, but the universe was full of threats. As she gazed at the night sky, she smiled faintly. Let them come. We'd be ready.